Hi kids. Hopefully some of you will remember Louise telling you about the author C.S. Lewis last week. Well, this week I thought I'd tell you about someone else who you should know about but may not have heard of. So this morning I want to talk to you about peanuts. Yeah, you did hear that right. Peanuts. Now the man I'm going to tell you about became very famous by teaching people how to grow peanuts and make things out of peanuts, including peanut butter, peanut paint, and even peanut plastic. In fact, he came up with 300 different products made from peanuts. People called him the Peanut Man. His name was George Washington Carver. I wouldn't be surprised if you've never heard of him. I expect that a lot of the adults watching might not have heard of him either. George was a famous scientist and inventor. He was born sometime between 1860 and 1865. Nobody really knew when he was born because he was also born a slave. That means that somebody else owned him. The family that owned him had white skin, but George had black skin. In America, where he lived, all the slaves were set free when he was a little boy, and the family that owned him as a slave raised George and his older brother as their own children. However, even though he had been set free, because of the colour of his skin, there were still lots of things he wasn't allowed to do. But one thing he could do, and chose to do, was to become a friend of Jesus. George couldn't go to the school near where he lived, so he had to walk and walk until he found a school he could go to. Once he had learned to read, he was eager to learn more about Jesus and began reading the Bible every day. He was clever at lots of things, but especially at science and inventing. When he grew up, he knew that God wanted him to use his knowledge of science to help people. So he decided to help poor farmers in the south of America manage their land better, and taught them how to grow peanuts and to make things out of peanuts, so that they could look after their soil better by changing what types of crops they grew. This meant they could have enough money and food for their families. Just a few of George's peanut products could have made someone very rich. But George shared his ideas freely with everyone. Because he was Jesus' friend, he felt that all the praise should go to God for putting all the richness and goodness into the plants he had created. Every day George used to pray and say, "Jesus, what do you want me to do today?" And then he would do it. When he was an old man, George was awarded a very special medal for his contribution to agriculture. On the medal were the words, "To a scientist humbly seeking the guidance of God."